Let's do this.
So, Joe, if I could, real quick, sidebar. Do
You
you
can, you
wanna
can.
do you wanna go ahead and just say anything real quick to Chris before we get
I
started,
mean,
or
look.
do you wanna?
It's he knows how I feel.
Uh huh.
We talk about it all the time.
Okay.
There
All right.
is that we have a conversation outside of the network over at Geek Ultimate Alliance. We
Sure.
don't talk about stuff over there. I don't
Okay.
want them to know. Okay,
Okay. All
so
right. So there's nothing you want to
oh, we've
apologize
already talked
for.
about it. It's fine.
Okay. Oh, so we're good. We don't need to apologize
No, no,
again.
no, no, no.
Then.
It's fine. It's okay.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
I'm so
Hey,
lost.
let's have a great show. Let's have a great show. Okay.
Let's.
Okay. Joe, real quick. Nothing you
Yes,
want to apologize
I'm
for
good.
from last month at
No,
all? Okay.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Just okay. Just making sure.
Okay.
Brothers, sisters, gender resistors, welcome to the only
I
show
love this
on
show, guys.
planet
Just
God
saying.
dang Earth where we actually it's one of many shows on planet God dang Earth where we watch movies based on apparently comic book stuff. Who would have guessed with what we've been watching lately? I, of course, am the man who did this introduction. I am Chuck. And of course, Ron, Joe, and more importantly, my best friend. My best friend and nobody else's. Chris is back because we are talking about Star Trek. This
Let's
was
let's get this
six.
right. Chris is back after a hiatus
A hiatus that I
because
A,
he
si-
missed
personally,
a siesta, as it
he
were.
he missed the so far best at prior to this
Best.
recording Star Trek movie that we've watched yet.
I had to go climb a rock, all right? I really had to climb a rock.
yeah, look, hey, I was not the one
As
who
long as
thought you
Chuck
were
was
a
there to save you.
coward. Yeah, I was not the one who thought you were a coward for not showing up to a show and you wanted to spend time with your beautiful and wonderful family climbing a rock. I was not the one who endlessly ranted about that off mic. And
Aw.
then the second the recordings started, all of a sudden, people
It's
are just
weird,
like,
right? Because I can control when I hit record and not, right?
yeah,
So
it's
I
crazy
know
how
when
that
to stop
works.
talking. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
it's crazy. It's crazy what was said off air, Chris.
Just
Welcome to the Comic Book Rundown presents Rundown Reviews. We, of course, are these four fucking idiots in boxes who are talking. If you're watching the YouTube, you can tell. Look, we watched Star Trek Episode 6, The Undiscovered Country.
yes, yes. They say it a couple
Why?
times. It's part of what.
It's the final frontier.
No, that was the last movie.
Yeah, I know.
It's part of what the Klingon supreme ruler guy was saying
About the future.
basically the Klingons and the Federation coming together for the future, and basically it's racism. It's the end of racism.
Is it just me or
Oh, they fixed racism. Wow. Okay.
Did
Kind
did
of.
they did they know?
did it not work though? I mean, it didn't seem like it worked all that well.
It definitely the people who watched this and apparently took it to heart didn't catch on to what they're trying to say.
Let's hold that thought till you get to generate the next movie, Generations. I think racism is still there.
Oh, it's definitely still there. Definitely still there.
I mean, they solve racism by murdering a bunch of people.
Isn't that
No?
how you stop racism?
Yeah, I mean, who am I to argue?
I mean,
you
the
know?
23rd century, they're supposed to be this evolved and great people at that point, but then you see the things that are said behind closed doors. Oh boy!
Oof, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Especially on this show. Whoa, phew.
I can't wait to the director's cut of that episode.
Give us the Snyder cut of episode whatever it was.
The Janero cut. The Janero cut.
no. See, the Janero cut is the cut where he doesn't say anything bad, guys.
That's true.
Exactly.
We need
That's true.
we need the Chuck and Ron cut.
Yeah,
That
The
means
true-
they'll do work and then they leave the show.
We
So-
need the
That's-
Shaw cut.
that is
What
true.
we need.
yeah.
That's just Ron hitting the upload button and said, "We're done."
That's what I do, basically. Actually, no,
Yeah.
I actually
No, I was
add
about to
in
say
the music.
you add voiceover. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
To
see,
be
I wouldn't
fair,
even add in music. I would just also make Chuck at the beginning sing something.
That's true. Yeah. No, what essentially would happen would just be that, and then me just going, "My name's Joe," and then saying a bunch of just out of pocket stuff, and everybody being like, "Wow, I can't believe Joe said that on the show." I'll be like, "I know, it's crazy."
That's this is
Yeah.
this is canon, I guess.
That's how that works.
All right, so where do we want to start on this one?
Hey, so then the credits rolled, and I turned it off, and it was like really powerful to that point.
There was something really important in the beginning credits, however. It was
Oh, yeah?
not directed by a cast member.
Yeah, it was directed by the guy who directed Wrath of Khan.
Yes,
correct?
Nicholas Meyer.
Yeah. So
could
Well, he did
have
better with
been
this one.
directed by Shatner, but thankfully the last one they said that favored countries thing. Yeah, I'm good with this one. Thank God.
according to IMDb, they were looking to have Leonard Nimoy direct it again, but they didn't want to piss off Shatner either because of the failed last one.
So wait, was this the movie where they were like, if they are asking for too much, we're just not going to make it?
Well, it was the last one had bombed so bad that they were ready to do a new movie as a prequel until Shatner and Nimoy were able to convince them to say, no, we need to go out on a better note. We need to actually really say goodbye. So, and
Yeah,
plus
and-
plus the contracts to afford them, they had to get Shatner and Nimoy to agree to take a pay cut.
Oh wow, did I know that?
So if they didn't take a pay cut, then this wouldn't have been made, and I would have saved an hour and 49 minutes.
It's a strong possibility because at the time they were in the middle of second or third season of Star Trek: The Next Generation. They're trying to get this movie off the ground on top of all the other films that Paramount's trying to put out. I mean, it's tying up a lot of money, and with the last one being a bomb, if I were a studio, I'd be kind of questioning it.
I also noticed that the budget must have been smaller because the Klingons didn't look very Klingon-y. The makeup seemed a lot more, like the prosthetics seemed a lot more dialed back than normal, or was it just me?
I know Christopher Plummer, who was playing Chang, Commander Chang. He, I think, specifically asked for a lot less of makeup and prosthetics on his character in particular. I didn't see why the reason was, but
Because he didn't want to sit in a makeup chair for 4 hours before he went out there every day.
that's a possibility.
I mean, that'd be enough for me.
Yeah, and you got to put the prosthetics of the balls on the knees or whatever, because we don't know.
Oh, one guy.
Yeah.
Well,
that was interesting.
They also, because in order to save money, they might have been with the makeup too, but with the Next Generation going on at the same time, they had already mothballed most of the original sets that they could use. So they basically modified and changed over. Basically, all the bridge scenes are basically the Enterprise D from Next Generation, just changed over. So Excelsior, that's technically the D, and Enterprise is just rearranged and lit differently in order to save money.
Yeah, I did read that. Which
I like that. Good for them.
Yeah.
So wait. So Next
on?
Generation was already in production when this came out?
Yeah. Yep. Next Generation started in '89, I believe.
Yeah, they were getting ready to start it right as Voyage Home was getting off the ground. So Final Frontier came out. I think that it's '89. So I think yeah, they were already in the middle of second or third season
when this one.
And so it was already getting great ratings from them. So they were like, why do we really want to continue on with the old cast?
Yeah, that is actually like a really good question of like, why waste the money on this thing? Like, this just feels like the old guard not being able to let go of the fact that they've been replaced.
Which is hilarious because they even talked about saying like we're 3 months away from retirement. Like they're putting us out to pasture, yada yada yada. Which is also hilarious because by the end of the movie, they're ready to let go of the Enterprise, and Kirk is just like, "All right, let's go on another adventure." Like
right into the sun.
Literally said you're gonna leave. What are you doing? Yeah, second star to the right and straight on the morning. Okay, thanks, Peter Pan.
That was him trying to say that he hasn't gotten old yet.
He's still got stuff in the basement.
Mostly lard.
Look, yeah.
And his toupee and girdle.
Yeah. It was kind of cool to see Sulu get his own command. He became a captain.
Except look how wasteful he was. He could have caught that cup before it fell down, but he just watched it shatter.
Oh my God. There was nothing more aggravating to me than watching that cup just jostle around and them all watching it. And it's just like, hey, obviously something's coming. Grab the fucking cup so it doesn't make a mess. Like maybe that's just my mother coming out. I don't know. But I was just like, you just like, that was good China. What the fuck,
they
man?
probably got some lower alien life form that comes and cleans up after.
I was about to
whenever
say
they're
they could
done.
replicate that.
Yeah.
He was too busy putting spaces between his sentences.
Yeah, he took the Shatner how to act class real quick, huh?
Maybe he thought that that's what you were supposed to do as captain because he'd watched his captain do it for so long. He's like,
That's what I'm saying.
when I become the captain,
Yeah, you just automatically do that.
Supposed to talk like this.
I think because Spock was a captain, he was kind of doing it a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean,
wouldn't it be funny if they were just
I'm always
shitting
still
on
waiting
Captain?
for it to go saying, "Oh my."
Always good. Always good. So they all are called to a meeting. Basically, it's Spock telling them that they are going to be hosting a delegate party from the Klingons, and Kirk being I don't want to say an asshole about it, but
No, he's the olive branch, man. He is their expression of peace. We're going to send this dude that has all these negative, history with the Klingons, and that's the guy that we want to send. The guy that's still not over his kid that he didn't know about dying by these guys.
Yeah, why? If you knew that he was the most hated fucking dude, would you send the most hated fucking dude to do a peace negotiation talk?
Only, as Spock says, only Nixon could go to China. The person who fought. It is. He's not necessarily wrong in the allegory, in the sense of the man who's fought communism his entire life can be the one to open the door to go to China. That's what they're doing. But I mean, listen to like some of the vehement, like Kirk saying they're animals, let them die. You got Cartwright, the admiral, the African American admiral, who's saying they're the alien trash of the galaxy. Let's bend them to our knees, and then we're in a better position. I had read that Brock Peters understood and was what Nicholas Myers was going for with the writing of that, but he had to go through several takes because, again, he's an African American saying this about people that are now looked at as minorities in this. Now, Nichelle Nichols had other lines that were going to be going for that. However, she said, I get what you're doing. I'm not saying it. So those lines were either given to other people or just scrapped.
Yeah, I think Chekhov, he got a couple of those lines. Yeah, there was a ton of lines that people just refused to say because of the underlining racism that was in it.
Yeah, and like the whole point of like this fucking thing is that it's supposed to like promote peace and we're all equal, and it's supposed to essentially be like socialism in space and all this shit. And it's like here's just blatant white supremacy, literally, because most of them are just old white dudes. And even the Klingons call them out on it. It's like, yeah, Starfleet is just humanoid. What was that?
Yeah. Humanoid, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that Gene Roddenberry, one of the things when he got the script, he was one of the things he hated about it and was getting ready to shut the whole thing down because of how blatant it was. But I understand what they're trying to do with it. I mean, it's hard to believe in the utopian society, even in the current society that we're doing in, let alone when they were building this. It's just like, there has to be some people that just continually just don't like certain aliens, and especially the way the Klingons have been constantly at war. It's kind of not hard for them to get past going to be peace. Even Gorkin says it to Kirk, saying, if there is to be peace, our generation's going to be have the hardest time getting through it because they have fought their entire lives knowing each other as being enemies. How do you become friends? How do you become peaceful?
Yes, I mean, and that's
how you said
prevalent
Kirk.
too in our time.
St. Kirk, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know what they see, here's the problem. If they would have sent Kirk and the delegation would have been nothing but female Klingons, they would have been okay. Because he would have tried so hard to fuck all of them that they would have been like, oh my God, this guy really is about peace and love and bringing us together.
Well,
Yeah, I
But
realized
unfortunately, he wasn't attracted to any of the Klingons that were there. So
yeah, we should have had a Kirk fucks aliens count on this like this run of stuff.
every time we do a Star Trek thing, yeah.
Yeah, because like I feel like this was like per capita the most he banged of like
But we only saw him do
the
the
shapeshifter.
one.
Did he? He gets made out with her, or she made out with him. I don't know if he.
That
really was into it.
listen, that's Kirk. At this rate, Kirk can't
Look,
get it up. So that
she
counts.
sucked his dick, he sucked her dick. We don't know what happened, but
That's actually David Bowie's wife.
That was David
Shatner?
Bowie's wife.
Yeah, it's Amon. Yeah.
Oh wow, she's really hairy. Good for him.
and tall.
It's the eyes. It's all in the eyes.
So we never actually saw her like final form or original form.
I mean,
'Cause-
maybe that was her original form.
The furry one?
No, the
little
well, who
girl.
knows?
The
No,
little
because
girl.
she specified that the girl version of her was like she just chose that to appeal to Kirk.
Mm.
When her and Doc were like, "Yo, do you really fuck this big hairy thing?" As much as
Yeah,
great.
Bones didn't mince any words on that one.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed Bones in this for multiple reasons. One, I love the idea that he has no idea what the anatomy of a Klingon is,
Yeah,
despite
that's a
the
little
fact
hard
that
to
it's
understand.
despite the fact that it's humanoid. So like you would think all of the shit's at
Well-
least in the same place.
Nope.
Well, yeah,
his,
but that
dick's
one
on his
guy-
knee also.
Yeah, the one guy that Kirk was fighting, he's humanoid looking, and his genitals are in his knee.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
yeah, because they have to make that joke. But
I mean,
he
you're
was
not wrong.
he was from somewhere in the United Kingdom, I think, because he was a little Cockney.
You were just
All right,
waiting
low
on that
hanging
word,
fruit.
Jeff.
We'll
Yeah.
allow it.
hey, you know for a fact
Yeah, it
he
was all the way
wrote
down to
that
his
joke
knee.
down in his notes. Like he was so proud of that. Like, you know what? I'm proud of
Check
you,
mark.
Ron. Good job, buddy.
Wow, just wow.
But then Bones, to bring him back, just jumps on his chest and starts punching him to like bring him back to life. And none of the Klingons take this as like a threat.
Watching it this time, I was in line with you, Chuck, on that one. It says, they already hate them being here, and they're really not comfortable with him thinking that they initiated this whole assassination attempt to operate on him, and now he's beating his basically almost lifeless body like that. It's like,
I
no
think you
one's-
guys are thinking about this the wrong way, though. They're
Oh, okay, all right.
Klingons. They are the warrior race. Maybe that's how their medicine works too.
I mean, that
What if we just
may
beat him
be.
until he
You-
comes
well,
back?
That's an interesting thought too.
I
mean-
perhaps because when he does try to do the medicine, like he uses the scanner or whatever, the one Klingon's like, he's trying to kill him. And he's like, I'm
See?
trying to save him. But when he's on his chest, literally punching his heart to try to get it to start, not a fucking word is said. They're just like, huh, all right.
That's nice.
It
That's,
doesn't help that the blood is just squirting out of his chest too.
The purple blood.
See,
the
at that
Pepto-Bismol.
moment, I started making
Yeah.
decisions on who's my not the Muppet during that. Saying, "Oh, this could be entertaining now with who I'm going to thinking about."
Oh, I got mine written down already. I like my not a Muppet. Also, what was kind of fun, we get Worf. Michael Dorn's in this.
Yeah, he's a little chubby in this one.
Oh, well,
Kurt-
that's his grandfather.
It's his grandfather, yes, but it's Colonel Worf. I'm like, what the? When I read it, when I saw Michael Dorn, I'm
Mhm.
like, whoa, hold on. And then when I saw him as Worf, I had to actually look in there and check. Yeah, it's Colonel Worf as the defense attorney. It is his grandfather.
Money
which is-
saved again. Use same actors as playing relatives.
Yes, which is awesome, kind of fun. I just thought that was great. What else do I have here? Oh, and then speaking of the trial, Chang is not wrong about Kirk. Kirk is just a piece of shit. We already knew that.
Mhm.
This is 6 movies in. We already knew that.
This may be actually the movie where he actually starts course correcting. Better late than never.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But I did like me being a history nerd, as and it took me a minute to remember what it was when he says, "Don't wait for the translation. Answer what it tell me." That is a direct line from Adlai Stevenson going after the Soviets during the Cuban Missile Crisis in the UN about whether they have nuclear missiles in Cuba. That's a direct pull from that.
Yeah, and it goes with Chang being such a history buff himself and a literature buff.
Yeah, quoting Hitler is always a good thing.
Well, Hitler and
I mean,
and,
it's working for our
and,
current regime, right?
you're not wrong. I mean, I wish you
It
were
is wrong, but
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely wish you were wrong, and also it is wrong, but you're not wrong. You specifically are not wrong. Yes, correct.
can't
They also
spell wrong
reference-
without Ron, buddy.
Was it? It's hey, I like that. Ooh, that can't go. I like that. Did they also reference? They reference the Klingons reference Shakespeare in this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple other
That's
writers.
dumb.
I just can't place them.
Why do they know Shakespeare all of a sudden?
It's
Because it was originally Klingon. Didn't you hear him?
written in the original Klingon. How do you with their?
Oh, I made full disclaimer. I tapped out a couple of times during watching this. This was I felt
Is that any different than any other one?
You actually watched the last one.
Yeah, I actually watched. I was forced to watch the last one because I couldn't. I was working and had focus on it. This one I was like doing errands and watching it on my phone and walking around with it and stuff. But there were times where I was just like, "What is going on? I don't understand this." But then because the plot is so realistically simple,
Mhm.
that it was easy
That's
to
what
figure
we've
out.
gotten for Star Trek so far.
Honestly,
Yeah, I mean-
the simplest yet most well planned and thought out one.
Because,
There was a
like Chris
little
said,
bit of
they
nonsense.
they
but
wanted a good story to say goodbye on, and then we get Generations.
Then we
I know,
get
the
really
thing-
complex.
the thing is, like, I don't know. I don't at this maybe just because I've been burned so many times with this is really the last one we promise, LOL. That there was no way that I would have believed that this is the last one.
Well,
It's the last one with this crew, fully,
Most
this
of them,
full
yeah.
crew.
well
Until Generations.
you
No.
mentioned the
Generations only has Kirk and then like Scotty and Chekhov for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, you go back to the writing of this, Nicholas Meyer is also the director. He had such a hard time trying to, come up with a story to come back from the depth that was 5. And it was Nimoy who brought up the idea to him saying like, well, we're in this middle of this Cold War going on. Look what's going on in the Soviet Union. Chernobyl happens. The Afghanistan war fails. What if we put that against the Klingons, and see exactly two people that can hate each other so much? Could we bring it to peace? So Nimoy gave him the idea, and I can't remember who. There was another writer associated with this that wrote mystery novels too, but I guess Nicholas Meyer also had a lot to do in the Sherlock Holmes writings as well. So he kind of brought that that kind of murder mystery going on. Because Spock even quotes a thing from Sherlock Holmes saying, like, I'm going to butcher it, but even if the things are the most improbable, even though how illogical, it ends up. I'm butchered the complete line, but that's a Sherlock Holmes
Whatever's
quote.
left is
However
improbable is
yeah.
So I mean, to the point of like you're saying, it's so simple. Sherlock Holmes, in its basis form, is a very simple mystery stories and whodunits. In the sense, it's just like you're waiting for certain things to drop. But you're right; it's a simple story set against a historical backdrop. Everything else is just like, I don't know where you're pulling this from.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. I also find Sherlock Holmes boring, so that would track.
Well,
For
I got
me.
some bad news for next week then.
Uh-oh.
Just kidding.
I was gonna say, listen, there's no way in hell there was a Sherlock Holmes comic.
Oh, of course. There's some Sherlock Holmes comics.
Unless it was Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century, aka the best Sherlock Holmes.
I love that cartoon back in the
It
day.
was so stupid good.
So stupid good.
What? What's his name? Watson. Watson was a robot.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was still Watson's head. It was just on a robot body.
Yeah.
I highly recommend if you have the.
It's-
I
It was
don't,
actually a pretty good cartoon.
I got the DVD. I found it at either I found it at Walmart way back when, or when I worked at Peyton's, it came back on a tote and I took it. I can't remember which.
I'm sure it's on whatchamacallit. It's got to
One of
be
the-
on some streaming
One of
service.
the streaming services. It might be.
It's probably bootlegged on YouTube somewhere, but
That's probably more likely.
Always.
All right. So when they get to that planet, whatever frozen Hoth planet they were on.
Rotapente.
Thank you. So apparently, if they're outside in a matter of seconds, they freeze to death. Like they threw the one guy out who was just in a loincloth, and he froze within minutes. But these guys were walking without facial coverings for who knows how long, and nothing. They didn't get frostbite at all. Nobody did.
They had big warm fuzzy coats.
But nothing against their face.
They don't need it. They got big warm fuzzy coats.
Mm,
As long
So
as you can
heat
keep your
rises.
core. Yeah, as long as you can keep your core, you
Yeah, I
won't
don't buy
freeze to
that.
death.
don't buy that.
Actually,
I know.
the stupidest thing my dad has ever said to me, the one time he spoke to me, I don't know, 15 years ago or whatever, was as long as you can keep your head and your feet warm, you can survive any cold. So as long as you got a good pair of winter socks and boots and a thick snow cap, you can walk around naked outside.
Oh.
Who told you that?
My father.
Couldn't have been
Maybe
Liam
that's
Neeson
why
in
you
Batman
don't
Begins.
hear from him anymore, Chuck. Because he tried
No,
that. And,
he's still alive.
oh,
He just doesn't like me. Remember, that's the joke on this show.
You saying you lack a father figure?
You did mention that on the the barbed wire one.
Well, Ron brings it up every week, so I figured I just jumped.
well,
just
actually,
get
the
ahead of it on this.
last like 5 or 6 times it's been brought up. I believe it's been brought up by you first, Chuck.
Yeah, it's become canon on this. All right.
Wow, that could have been louder. Thanks, Joey.
You're welcome. Didn't know it was
Yeah,
gonna be that loud.
because
I'm not sure if people will be able to hear that or not because sometimes you can and sometimes you can't. But
I was debating because I know some of the audio is already cut in and out on some of these, so I'm like, do I really want whatever? I'll do
Try it, whatever.
We'll see what happens.
he's trying to kill our
Anyway.
brains.
Anyway,
Well,
That's
Chuck
good
did
for
promise
you.
to emotionally damage me, so
that's true. Though I don't remember ever saying. I don't think I said that. Check the archives.
Yeah. Bring up the
See if I
tape.
said that.
Bring up the tape.
What the hell was Kim Cattrall's character's name in this? Valerius?
Valeris.
Yeah. So why is it that she didn't get the sir instead of ma'am for her
No, she
name?
did.
No, they kept calling her ma'am. They never called her
Yeah.
sir.
No, when they grabbed they might have been really bad in the sense of that, but I remember particularly when they found the boot, he says, "Sir, I found it." And that's when she comes coming in. That's when she goes in. So there may have
But
been
everybody
other
else called her
times.
ma'am. Like when Kurt was talking to her, or when anybody else was talking to her, like they would call her ma'am instead of sir. And
Bad
I
editing,
thought that was
bad
kind of funny. I was like, oh, so we were really on top of it for the one, but then this one, it's just kind of like, we'll fish back and forth, whatever we feel like doing,
Now, Nicholas Meyer wanted to bring back Savick for this. and he wrote her in, and that was another thing Roddenberry was ticked about, and was because he said, "You may have created Savick, I created the Vulcans," and so the agreement was that he can't use Savick, he'd have to choose another Vulcan though, so he made up this one.
I did read in the IMDb that I think after like the first, either it was after the first screening, like when the movie was done filming, or either it was after the first script was done, Roddenberry did either read the script or saw the movie, and he did not like it.
He did both. He demanded to see the script
Okay.
before, but yes, he also got really upset at the end of the
Okay, so he did
both.
okay, and then 48 hours he passed away after. Correct. Yeah. So what?
Wait, did he pass away or did he pass away?
Well, so what I'm saying is that Star Trek 6 killed Roddenberry, similar to how the Justice League movie killed my mom.
Oh,
jeez.
Just saying.
Jeez, Joe.
Wow. They got JD Vanced? That's crazy.
Right?
Though. Yeah. Within 48 hours of meeting it, they just...
I mean, it was the same day for my mom, but...
Yeah, I like it. One of the most celebrated Star Trek movies ends up killing its creator. Okay.
Right?
Weird. That's poetic.
Because it's actually I did like this one. I really enjoyed. This is one of the ones that I remember the most.
This is
I don't think this one's had the best plot of any Star Trek movie we watched so far.
It has, and it's probably the most simplest plot, like what Chuck had said earlier. And maybe I think this might have been the one I've seen the most. Maybe this is the one my dad watched the most out of the original ones.
Yeah,
so I probably watched it all the time.
As somebody who doesn't know the intricacies of Star Trek, this came off as the most Star Trek movie we've watched. It's got all the, the original crew in there, and it doesn't really add anybody new. It's got Klingons, which is something that was, in the show that we knew existed and stuff. It doesn't dive a lot into Spock's stuff. I realized watching this, man, all of the Spock's origin stuff is kind of boring.
I mean, it took up,
because it's
3 movies.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of standing around and talking. There wasn't a lot of standing around and talking. There was action in this. We get the slowest space battle ever, but we still got one. That was cool. It is kind of crazy to see that Star Wars does a great, space battle scene in the 70s, and they did this in 91, 92?
Yeah, 91.
Look, they didn't have the budget of one episode for this movie, okay? So...
yeah, right.
I will say, though, watching this definitely recognized a crap ton of people.
Oh, yeah.
I know we had the bouncer from The Mask in this one. He was
yep, I've got that mark. He was one of the guys on the Excelsior.
Yeah, we had Christian Slater in this for a second.
Yep.
Kim Cattrall, like we said. David Warner, who was Gorchak, what was his name?
Gorkon,
thank you. Who was in the last movie as one of the admirals, the human admiral.
Yep.
But he's also the one doctor from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Secret of the Ooze. So we've seen him a couple times already now. Technically, that would be, yes, he's in 2 Star Trek movies, but he plays 2 different characters. So we should count that as 2 movies. Just saying.
Brock Peters is a very renowned actor.
Yes.
And also, he was the one who, when Star Wars went on audio drama on NPR, he took over the part of Darth Vader to do that.
Nice.
Highly recommend it. The audio drama was actually pretty good.
I heard that a long time ago, and I remember it being good, but it's been so long.
Yeah, Brock Peters does that.
Oh, nice. Good for him. I have written down here that Valeris was being rude when she fired the phaser at the pot.
Rude.
The guy was, just trying to, just trying to make mashed potatoes.
I mean, that was pretty fucking rude, because then, she didn't clean that up.
Of course not.
I just like it how it's like stuck there. Like,
Right?
what were they making?
It was very
really
thick mashed potatoes.
I
bad
was
mashed
about to
potatoes.
say.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to have that.
Yeah. Kirk, I don't think Kirk actually knows how to kiss anyone because, or maybe just the what's her name, Marta was just really bad at kissing because it looked like pressing the lips up against the window.
I'm glad for those of you on
Can we see
audio.
that again?
For those on audio, you really need to check this out. Around 35 minutes at that point.
There you go. Just saying, it looked bad.
Actually,
Get
we
closer.
just-
Get closer to us, Joe. Show us how it is. Give us a kiss, love.
Wait, I
Give
have to
us
go
a
this way,
kiss.
but like, okay. Come here. Like that, yeah.
Aww.
No, that was actually a better
No,
kiss
you
than
two.
anything I've ever seen
Kiss.
him do on.
Kiss.
I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of hot. That was kind of.
What else do I got here? Oh yeah, we talk about Cartwright. Could you make yourself any more obvious looking at the window the entire time at the peace conference?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, dude?
Okay, let me ask you all this, and Joe, you may be the only one that really answers this. Okay, so Joe, when I watched this on streaming, I got the digital copy, and when Scotty shoots the Klingon assassinator,
Mhm.
my copy now does not reveal that was someone in disguise. When I remember it ended up being another person from Starfleet in disguise as a Klingon. This version, whatever they did, for some reason they cut it out. It just you have anyone who's watching for the first time. Oh, it's just some Klingon they got involved in this. No, it's supposed to be a Starfleet officer.
Correct. Paramount had the same thing. It was just a Klingon.
Okay.
I remember, because my dad had the VHS, had the DVD. It was a Starfleet in disguise.
Mhm.
And there was something in IMDb about that.
It was someone known too, because they said, "Oh my God, it's Admiral whatever," you know.
Yeah. The actor was surprised because his whole role got cut out of the theatrical cut, but when it came to VHS, it all got added back in.
Huh.
And so when he's at conventions, people are coming up to him and they're like, "Oh man, your role in the movie was great." He's like, "Wait, I'm sorry, what's happening?" Like he had no idea it got put back in the movie. So yes, I do know about that scene, but no, it was not in the version I watched last night.
Gotcha. Okay.
I feel like that's the same thing that they did with Robin Hood. Have you seen the controversy of that?
Which Robin Hood?
The 2009 remake with Russell Crowe?
I never
No.
saw it.
I don't remember. There was like a 2009 Robin Hood, or somewhere in the aughts, 2008
Okay.
maybe, and they had this whole thing about like, hey, when the leaders become tyrannical, then is the time to revolt and take, essentially the story of Robin Hood.
Mm-hmm.
And only in the U.S. have they taken out that part in the very beginning opening credits. They have deleted. It's like a scroll text that comes
Weird.
up, and they took it out of
Wonder
the
why.
U.S. streaming. Yep. So I just assume now that that's what they were doing in this. They were just like, oh, whoa, we can't make it look like it was the government. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that would be funny.
The government would never do that. Ever.
Yeah, ever. Was it a JFK reference? Was that what it was supposed to be? The CIA?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Those maybe.
I think we finally figured that out, right? Like they released documentation enough now that we're all just
that we're all still saying it's Lee Harvey Oswald. Oh, come on!
I listened to last podcast on the left, and they deep dived into it, and they have determined that they think it was just one of the guys. Like they had gotten drunk the night before, gave the gun to a very inexperienced guy who heard Lee Harvey Oswald shoot the gun. He apparently was trying to kill the mayor of Dallas or something. heard the gun go off and accidentally shot it and shot JFK. So that was the cover up.
That's the most CIA cover up I've ever heard.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty big cover up.
So,
by the way, Joey.
Allegedly.
What did the last podcast on the right have to say about it? You know,
that's
the
true.
left, we got the right.
That the Jewish space lasers did it.
Oh, that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
By the way, Chris, you weren't here earlier today in the boys' chat for this. Speaking of Last House on the Left, Joey, all I wanted to know was The Conjuring part of the Amityville stuff? And then I realized I just didn't understand. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if the people in The Conjuring were also the people that were in the Amityville horror series. And now I realized they weren't, because that was Ryan Reynolds. I don't know why I thought the guy was the same, but I realized now I had to put it all together.
Is very attractive, but no, it's not Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
It's not.
But The Conjuring is part of all this, and I thought The Conjuring also took place at the Amityville horror, so I was very confused.
Gotcha. Yeah. No.
It was like 35 minutes of me at the gym sitting on equipment being like, I don't understand why he's not fucking getting this.
I didn't understand what the question was.
And I couldn't get any answers out of Google. I tried to Google it first, and I couldn't get any answers. I was just trying to figure out if The Conjuring had to do with the Amityville horror, and if it was across the board all the same. So like the Amityville horror stuff was being pulled in to the Annabelle verse.
That my knowledge of some of that stuff is like, because the Warrens are a bunch of pieces of shit, they did investigate the Amityville horror, but like they weren't involved because they are charlatans and they actually made things worse. So yeah. Anyway, sorry.
So Kirk was involved in theAmityville horror?
Well, probably. I wouldn't be.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes everything.
That actually
worse.
would make a lot of sense. Yeah. He just went back in time when he shot around the sun or fucking whatever, and just showed up. If I didn't yell at him about it, I would have forgotten. It just popped back in my head. So,
Ron, you got anything else? Because I got a couple more notes. But...
Okay, something that these guys do a lot that never made any sense to me. Kirk, Spock, and Bones are the three highest ranking people on the ship, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they always the people that are meeting hostile groups all together, or they are going to hostile places all together, as opposed to like, okay, we can send Kirk out. Nobody's going to give a shit if he's missing. But we need either Spock or Bones to be there to run the ship while Kirk is dead.
Well, keep Spock on the ship. Send Bones because he is a doctor.
I see what's going on.
but he's the only doctor.
Exactly. He's the only doctor. You would want to keep him on the ship just in case, the important people, like the crew that makes the ship work, had, injuries.
The ones that actually make the decisions, not the captain who just sits in the chair and says, go.
Yeah.
Fire torpedoes. Pew, pew. Pew, pew.
Especially since a lot of the time, if they would listen to the other people and not Kirk, they probably would be in better places and been better off.
Frankly, I was surprised when the initial we shot on them, and he was like, "No, we're gonna surrender to de-escalate this." Genuinely surprised that was a thing that he decided to do, and didn't have to be talked into it.
Mm-hmm.
Or let me rephrase that: he didn't have to be convinced that it was his idea, because ultimately that's what happens every time. Is Spock comes up with an idea and then has to convince Kirk that it was actually his idea the whole time, and how great.
Yeah, that's actually just called being a dealing with your supervisor. You always have to make it seem like it's their idea.
Yeah. That's just dealing with a narcissist.
I mean, I would say you must never have worked underneath egotistical, small-minded people, because that's just like a standard element of being an employee.
That is. I'm just gonna go ahead and plead the fifth on that one.
See, I gave you this nice segue where you could have, went ahead and told us how you really felt, Chuck. But
let me quit this job first, and then I'll let you know.
All right, Ron, you got anything else?
Because
we need to start wrapping up here.
Yeah, that's fair. No, I actually wasn't paying much attention to this movie, although I do have to say it was better than the other ones. Maybe because it, wasn't. I didn't fall asleep during it, so I have to give.
I mean, that's a good sign, I guess.
Yeah.
That is something.
But I actually did enjoy the fact that this one had a plot that got seen all the way through the movie. But
I
again,
did
I didn't
feel
think
like
any-
the ending wrapped up a little too quickly. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, sure, yeah.
but other than that, like, I mean, fine, whatever.
And I didn't realize that was Worf's great grandfather or whatever, and not him. I just thought he was like fat in this, and then lost a lot
Really
of weight.
old.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how Klingons work, man. I don't know
Neither
Klingon
does
anatomy.
Bones, apparently. The medical doctor doesn't even know.
Which I apparently because so there is the one scene where Uhura, is supposed to be talking in Klingon to the other Klingons, and Nichelle Nichols even said that it makes no sense that she shouldn't know Klingon, like her looking
Yeah.
up the Klingon dialogue, and Nicholas Myers just like, yeah, just shoot the scene. I don't care, just shoot the scene. Apparently, because of that, the Uhura in the Abrams in the 2009, she knows Klingon. Like, she is a actual like translator and linguist and actually knows all these dialogues. So it was a nice little
and
retconning.
they try to correct that in Strange New Worlds as well.
Do they? Good.
Oh yeah, they're trying to make Uhura like that is your linguist, like
Good.
best of the best.
I do have to say, after watching the preview for that, it does kind of look interesting.
I watched like the first, I think, 2 episodes, and I liked it. I just never went back. It seemed like a little bit more my speed, a little goofy.
Take the idea of the original series and modernize it, taking the Abrams kind of style of filming.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, and it got super woke, you know.
What's next? A black girl and a white guy are gonna kiss? I mean, geez.
Yeah, when has Star Trek not been? Oh wait, it's always been. It's always been political. Come on, people.
Exactly.
I don't know. The towards the end of this one, this got a little. I mean, yeah, this got super political, but it just leaned right into the pipeline this time instead of like, just a bunch of alien racism.
The alien
just
trash of
dangling
the
that carrot.
galaxy.
Yeah.
They're
Instead of dangling that
animals.
carrot, they're just like, all right, here we go.
Actually,
Dip in.
realistically speaking, this is like kind of still proving my theory of like this is what like the right consider diversity and inclusion. Look at all of us, all walks of life, fucking hating this one group like super hard.
Yeah.
We're coming together to take down the bad guys.
The United Federation of Planets, except for you, Klingons.
Yeah.
Except for you.
What do you got, gas
Alien.
over there?
Alien trash. Let your Chernobyl planet blow up.
Goodbye, oxygen.
Oh, yep. Alrighty. So got a kill count of 15.
Wait a minute. Wait.
What?
Does that count the one pretty much that planet?
I count that as
That's
one
one kill.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep,
good.
one
Just making
kill.
sure that was counted amongst the one because we can't
Yes, it
just
was.
like count all those people.
Because I was like, I guarantee
Klingons.
somebody died there. Somebody died there.
I just want to. Here's another random question. That's just floating out there. Just the random pieces floating out there.
Yeah.
I'm not assuming every. I like it how they had to superimpose the rest of the planet just to determine, saying, "Where's the rest of it? Let's just superimpose." Oh yeah, there was a planet, a moon. Excuse me, a moon.
Yeah.
Snow moon. It's a space station.
We also
It's not even a space station. It's not even a planet.
Yeah, it's not nothing. We also had one Klingon arm.
Wow, Joe,
Lost
you could have
arm.
just said one arm. You didn't have to say Klingon arm, like it's not the same thing as a regular arm.
Yeah, you racist.
That's a good point. I'm sorry.
What do you mean their arm? What do you mean their arm? What do you mean Klingon arm? What is this Klingon?
Well, I guess it wasn't.
It was not
was
Klingon
it?
to anything.
Hey.
You picked it up.
Anyway.
Heyo.
All right. Ron, what you got for bingo?
Okay, so we have actor playing himself because
Kirk. Yeah.
Kirk was in it.
Actually,
look.
Kirk was playing too. Anyway, whatever.
We had government interference, comic logic. We had reformed bad guy because Kirk ends up being actually kind of decent when he surrenders. We had
change. Like by the end, he was like,
Yeah.
racism is bad."
okay. We had unexplainable science. Obviously, we had like 2 different villain monologues in this.
Yeah.
We had misogyny. We had fight for control of something. And that's where I quit taking notes. So
Okay, that's fair.
there's probably like some animal cruelty because I'm sure there was
We have
some...
Dead Parent.
Oh, that's true. I forgot
Yeah.
about Dead Parent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still, because I thought she was older than he was, so the Dead Parent thing never made any sense to me for that, but
That's fair. Chuck? Spawn Cake.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this looked about it on par with everything else, which was not great.
Yeah, I felt like some of it looked...
no, this was garbage. Like when the blood was floating around, or the whole space fights, or
How about Gorkon doing somersaults in the air? Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the planet exploding was kind of like looked awful, and I figured that was like setting us up for like our expectations for the rest of the movie. The laser bombs, the whatever it was, plasma that they were shooting or something. I didn't really fully understand what it was supposed to be anyway, but it looked not great. Even the practical effects stuff. Dead Klingon commander there squirting out Pepto-Bismol looked terrible. Looked real bad. I thought that the prosthetics looked bad. I don't know why they can't get that right. Real quick though, I will say, we count this as blackface.
oh, that's a good
No,
question, actually.
What?
I don't.
Klingons do have a darker complexion.
Klingons definitely have a dark complexion. They definitely were white dudes.
No, Michael Dorn's a black guy.
Okay, sorry, one. All right. I don't know. I think it's a fine line.
Iman is. Oh yeah, you've got. I don't even know who the actress was that was playing the daughter.
I think she's Mexican.
They think I'm Mexican. You're not Mexican?
Just say Hispanic. It covers a lot of bases there, Joe.
Good point. Sorry.
Line X, if you will.
Latina.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess it was on par. I thought the suits seemed different. The Starfleet suits, they seemed a little different.
They were definitely different than the last one, than 5,
Yeah.
I believe.
I still don't like them though. I don't know. I just wanted the stuff from the show.
The whole weird ass like chest flap thing is odd, and I don't understand it.
Oh, well, I mean, I wear chef coats that are like that, so I get it.
Because you're a chef, yeah. They should be wearing chef coats because they're, Starfleet.
It's to protect them from the heat, so their insides are not cooked to a medium rare temperature by the time they die.
Oh, so maybe it's extra padding from phasers?
Maybe. Also, in case they get something on it, they can flip it around. That too. That's a big one. I'm gonna say like 3 out of 50. No, 30. No, 29.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 out of 29.
Okay.
Didn't love it. On the grand scheme of 0 to a gajillion, that's pretty close.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's true.
All right. Not a Muppet. Chris, we'll start with you.
I'll go with Bones just to see him beat up on a Muppet and trying to revive him.
That's what I figured you were gonna say.
A Muppet squirting Pepto-Bismol would have been really
See,
yeah.
I went the other way in that. I wanted the Klingon like warlord guy, or not warlord, but the president or whatever, to be the not a Muppet, because it would be funny as hell seeing a Muppet trying to and that's why he didn't understand his anatomy.
Works. That works too. I like it.
There you go.
Where's the hand up his ass?
I liked Martha not being a Muppet, because her making out with Kirk as a Muppet and then forming into Kirk, fighting a Kirk Muppet.
Kiss.
I'm sorry, did you just call it interkirk? Like intercourse, but with Kirk?
There you go.
Oh God.
It was funny though when she said, when she turned into Kirk and was like, yeah, this is probably the most exciting thing for you or whatever, he wanted to fuck himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Yeah,
can't believe I
100%.
kissed you. Must have been
They-
life ambition.
That's what it was. Yeah. Kirk would be the guy that on his captain log is like sitting there in the mirror, like, "Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me."
Oh, he's so Buffalo Bills, like
I was
for
gonna say,
sure.
You turn
Yeah.
Kirk into Buffalo Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that tracks.
All right.
Little dance and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So that leaves us our score. Chris, out of 10, what would you give this?
As Chuck Illustrator put, I'm brought on the show to boost everyone else's score.
Yeah, you got to pad that score, baby.
This was actually, as I said, my very first Star Trek movie I'd ever seen as a kid. And this is my favorite one of the original cast, so I will put this at an 8.
Okay.
Nice. Chuck gets cussing off camera.
Horrifically egregious score. Okay. I feel like I have to lower mine now just to balance this out. All right.
Wow.
All right. Is this a Star Trek movie? Yeah, I feel like
Maybe.
this is the most Star Trek-ish one that I would assume as somebody who doesn't like Star Trek. I like this better than I liked anything else so far. I think the plot is simple. I also like political espionage stuff. So like that, this also kind of worked for me. I didn't love the racism as much as Joey, but I get his excitement for it. So that's cool. I'm glad it's over. This gives me hope that I might like Next Generation. I
mean, there's anyway.
Listen, I liked Picard. Like I like Picard. I thought he was an interesting character. I've watched at least some of the show.
I'm not talking about the cast. I'm talking about some of the directions they take in these movies.
I mean, fair. I do remember him becoming a robot or something. I'm gonna say
I like that one.
That's a good one.
It is a very good one.
With that being said, I didn't fucking pay attention to this hardly at all, which probably actually helps its score. I was doing other stuff. It was on. I watched it. I'm never going to go back and watch this series ever again. I don't care. I will leave my significant other. I will divorce them if they try to make me watch this stuff again.
That's a no for the generic continuum.
I'm going to say, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'm not even putting this shit on to like make fun of it. But that being said, I love Chris. So I am going to pad my score a little bit, and I'm going to say 3.1.
Okay.
I liked it better than most. You know what? I did like this better than Wrath of Khan. I don't remember what I gave Wrath of Khan, but a 3.1 feels good.
Okay.
You didn't have a lot more. You had more pleasant things to say about this than Wrath of Khan, so there's that.
That's true.
Yeah. I also, you know what? Because this also didn't get memed the fuck out of it, so like that also helps.
Yeah.
I think I hate Khan so much because it's been memed to the point where I just don't want to look at it anymore.
That's fair. Ron, what you got?
So much like Chuck, I like this one because it actually had a plot. It had a storyline that they followed and that like made sense throughout the whole movie. Some bad acting aside, mostly just from like Kirk. It was not terrible. Would I watch it again? No, but it has been the best Star Trek movie. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Star Trek 6 is what Joey was trying to. But it has been the best Star Trek movie we have watched so far, and it has come the closest to one that I might actually watch again. And having said that, I'm going to give this a 4.64, which is the highest score a Star Trek movie has gotten from me.
Okay.
That's pretty high. That's pretty high.
I know.
Yeah.
It's because I kept looking at Kim Cattrall and thinking of her in The Mannequin, and yeah,
That's fair.
it's an old movie from the 80s, Joey.
I've never seen that one.
Tom Hanks is in that.
No,
No.
Who's the male?
some goofy little guy. I don't know. I can't remember his name. I'll look it up while Joey's giving us his score.
What the hell movie am I thinking of with Tom Hanks?
Big?
Yeah. Same.
No, it's some of the love interests.
Yeah,
Big.
interesting. Big.
Joe versus the volcano.
Oh no, I'm thinking the one where he fucks a mermaid.
That'd be
Mermaid?
Splash.
Splash.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
So this one, I enjoyed this one with Chris. This is definitely one of the ones I watched when I was a kid. I already said that. I liked it. Talked about the plot being simple and easy to follow. Yeah, I didn't. Like I said earlier, I didn't. The ending kind of just wrapped up pretty quickly. That being said, though, like I wouldn't mind watching it again. Like I actually did enjoy this one. And this would be one, even like this is one that you could put on without having to watch the other ones. And I feel like even though I know what's happened with the other ones, this is one that you get everything. Like you get all the context you need in this movie by itself. You don't need anything else.
I will also add to that if you hadn't watched the other ones and you didn't know that Kirk's kid he had only just met the day before that, before he dies, would be so much more like, oh my god, he killed Kirk's kid. Like Kirk had known this kid since birth and stuff. Because if you hadn't watched the other ones, that's what you would think with this, which would make sense for him being so hateful.
So mad. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. That being said, I give this one a 6.18. I do like it. It's very enjoyable for me for out of the Star Trek films. Out of all the ones we've watched so far, it's my favorite one so far. Yeah. So that gives us a combined score of 5.48, which out of 152 movies drops it in at number 85.
Crack the 100.
Just behind Conan the Barbarian at a 5.49, and just above Predator 2 at a 5.47. So it splits those two.
Okay. I don't.
It's not a bad spot, I don't think.
Well, no, I would definitely watch every movie around it before I watch this again. But
Well, yeah, but you also have to remember that that's because Chris gave it an egregious 8 for this.
I
So
did.
yeah.
I did.
Yeah, I definitely liked Predator 2 way more than I liked this. So.
That's fair.
oh yeah, and our scores reflect that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're gonna be honest.
Joey.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joey.
Whatever. All righty. That brings us to the end.
Yay.
Chris, where can they find you?
You can find me on all the socials at Chris Balga, and as according to one of the episodes that Chuck said, the only network apparently that matters amongst all networks.
It's amazing that you bring that up, Chris. It's
Oh.
amazing that you bring it up, because if you guys go over to TeePublic, we
you
have
did
got
it, didn't you?
ourselves
Yeah.
a brand new shirt.
You
Chuck
did.
says, fuck all networks, unless it's run by Chris, paid for by Comic Rundown.
That is awesome.
Over at
Oh,
TeePublic right now.
I was
When did this get made?
Today. I made it today. Put it up today.
You know, this looks like one of those like old awards that you'd get for being like
Yeah,
a
that's-
student
it
of the
really
month
does.
in like
That's better.
preschool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally I don't even know what episode you said it on, Chuck, but like I started our fans. I've just become the new ongoing joke for Chuck to like to lean on at
Yeah.
that point. And I
Yeah.
don't know what episode it was you said this. I literally had to stop mowing because I was laughing so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also, so I got that one made, and then I also got a Walk Through the Multiverse one made. So that's my other show, because I finally decided to put that one up there.
Look at us, got merch now for everybody. That's
Yeah.
great.
Hot damn.
Look at that. But
So
yeah,
yeah,
there you are.
new merch.
All right, that's exciting. We love that. I may have to go buy that shirt. Fuck.
I figured you could be excited about that one.
Oh, that's good.
Chuck, where can they find you?
Hey, you can find me at Good at This Game. You can find all of my art over at Good Art This Game. And you can find all of that, my artwork on all of my t-shirts. No, you can find me. I've been wanting to do that joke for a while. I keep forgetting. You can find me kicked out of the hood, no being kicked. You can find my hobby page, which, hey, at time of recording, I just got back from Under the Dice Fest, and it's rejuvenated my love for something. I haven't figured that out yet, but I'm definitely getting my creative juices gushing. So I am going to be doing stuff all summer. So follow me at Kicked Out of the Hobby, no Ian Kick, to see all of my miniature painting endeavors for the summer. It was fucking rad. It was like a metal punk Mordheim / War Master like convention in a Elks Lodge that had no fucking air conditioning and was packed with like 200 fucking people in it, all playing Mordheim on
I
the
can
craziest.
smell that from here, Chuck. And that's
Honestly, here's the thing though. They didn't smell that bad because one of the vendors that was there was selling deodorant for $3 a stick.
hey.
And I guess had it written in the rules that you had to shower and put on deodorant to be able to play.
That guy
So,
was a genius.
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
Showing
Yeah.
up with the deodorant.
like that.
Nice.
yeah,
Good for him.
yeah, that was super smart. So
That should be something
yeah.
that's written into all cons. Just saying.
Apparently, this is like on like has been a rule at Yu-Gi-Oh! Grand tournaments for like 10 plus years now. And they have literally kicked people out for smelling bad.
That's
Good.
probably because the people that have to run that shit were getting so tired of fucking going.
Yeah,
home smelling
probably.
like a
Like fucking
Shitload.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Of all things. Anyway, like the smelliest fan base. That's good for them. Anyway, and more importantly, you can find me at the end, last Sunday of each month. Joey and I are doing Getting Franchised, the latest and greatest in movie franchises. Hey, at time of this being released, you're probably listening to something that we did, and that's cool.
Time of release in about a week and a half, a week and a couple days. The episode with Ron, My Bloody Valentine, will be coming out. So
We
yeah,
love that. So and then you can go buy the shirt. You can go over to our
you buy the shirt
TeePublic
first.
TeePublic.
and get go over to TeePublic.
Get
and
multiple
get that-
shirts.
Get all of our shirts. Give us your money. All right? Damn. And more importantly, we have season 2 coming right around the corner, ish, in a couple of
Next year.
months.
Next year.
No,
We're in
because we
June.
start-
It's June. It's June. We started in January. We're doing 12.
We started in
6 months.
January?
Well, I started uploading it on our feed, the regular feed in January.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I was like, no, we started this in like October.
We started in like August. They
Did we?
started
Yeah.
going on the Patreon in October.
Yeah,
But
but
then they
fuck
became
those
off the
networks
Patreon.
except for the only important one. All right, which is Chris specifically. Chris's network specifically. Get the
Speaking of Chris, so anyways, because we need to get out of here so he can leave.
Yes.
You can find me good at this game on Instagram, TikTok.
Why do you
Blue
want to
Sky.
kill my time with him? That's so
we
sad.
only have an hour.
That's the only time I get with
He
him.
gave us an hour.
Kiss.
He just wants you guys to kiss again. Come on, guys. And all those other places. And what Chuck said earlier, that's where you can find me. Joey?
You guys can find the show on all the social media at Comic Book Rundown. You can email us, comicbookrundown@gmail.com. We are on YouTube at Comic Book Rundown, merch, Redbubble, TeePublic. You can email us. Sorry, I said that. I don't know why I repeated myself. We've got, like Chuck said, the Getting Franchised. Comic Book Rundown itself is back periodically. I believe I had one out last month. Maybe there should be another one out this month. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see if I actually did it. And then our song was done by the former Father Dr. Cam, formerly known as Cam. I don't know what the heck
The
was
father
said anymore.
doctor, formerly known as Cam.
Whatever it's called. I don't know.
Yeah, he's still a father.
Sure.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So next week, next episode, it's my birthday pick. I
I've
had
never
to
heard of that
do.
movie.
Okay, so like I was struggling to figure out a movie for you two.
Oh no.
For us to.
I was
It's gonna be
debating-
Resident Evil 2.
Okay, so I was debating between three. I knocked that one off immediately, but I decided because I'm a shrill to do a movie that is similar to what's coming out, so that people will actually listen.
Oh, we're gonna watch a
Or
Snyder
watch-
cut. No.
we're watching Fantastic Four from 2015, the Fan Four stick, because I figure why the hell not? Because
Wait, Fantastic Four? Which Fantastic Four?
the 2015 one,
Uh,
the Fan Four stick one, the one that people don't like.
I've never seen it.
He has not seen it.
Is
you
that the
coming
one
on
with,
for it?
No,
I'm
he's
going
doing
on-
it. He's
I'm doing
doing
it
it
for
on
my
something else.
Patreon show. So
this
about,
is the
about 2 or 3
That's
months.
the Michael B. Jordan one.
yeah, okay, that's the Michael
Yeah.
B. Jordan and like a realistic looking thing or something. He's
Yeah,
more
something like
rocky
that.
than
Yeah.
normal. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Anyways,
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Yeah, I saw that one in theaters. Haven't watched it since. Might be a reason.
Feel
But,
like I watched
I
it,
guar-
but I don't
here,
remember.
hot take. Chuck and Ron will like it.
Chuck's
No, we
seen it.
won't. I've seen it.
Wow.
Okay, we've all seen it. You're the only one that hasn't seen it, Chris.
Nope.
But you're not going to be on here, so.
Yeah, it was dog shit if I recall correctly.
I mean, we're going to watch it. Last I remember, the first 2 acts were good. The third act is what really just stunk it for me. But I also, again, I haven't seen it for 10 years. So we'll see.
Hey, I think I have it on my shelf. Joey must have gave it to me.
No, I would have kept it because even if it's dog shit, I would have kept it.
That's true. He does keep a lot of bad stuff.
I do.
That's
I've
why
had
I'm
him as
here.
best friend for how long?
Hey. All
That's
right,
why we're
everybody.
all here.
All right, everybody. Thank you all for listening. We'll catch you later.
And Chris too. It's time for Scooby Doo.